Good morning. It's Harvey here. Hey, just going to go through some quick slides here, some news and a couple different topics here. So Bunge's making money. An analyst that I'm following, Mitch Miller. He's uh, got a lot of technicals and some of the things that he's talking about in here. I'll cover here as well. Oil has a slight increase, and I'm not showing the charts here, but where is the drought? And here we've got multiple layers or different models, and I'm just gonna they're all showing pretty much the same thing. You got drought in the main area that I'm traveling in. Like holy smoke! Like can you pick that area any better? And here's your soil moisture map, and it is depleted in these areas here as well. Just another way of showing the same thing, but it's showing a percent of normal, and it's showing fairly wet over there, which is surprising. Here's your 10 centimeters soil moisture percentile, and this is, I believe this one is NASA. Maybe not, but anyway, here's your GRACE, and you can see that there's drought in northern North America and Brazil growing area. And if you look at what's going on there in that same area, we're starting to get some root zone soil moisture. European, where is the wheat grown? And you can see, this map actually, I could put it all on there, but it doesn't show all of that. But Ukraine, a lot of the wheat is grown in this area, and then you got red winter wheat for Russia in that area. And you can see that this is drought and this is not. And if you recall from the previous slide, so there's a good part of it's under stress. Here's your wheat production in Australia. You can say that it's basically hugging the coastlines. And what do you see? Not a whole lot of, there's a little bit of stress there, but the other areas are adequate. So oilseeds, just going to go through all the markets here. $3 about up on canola. European rapeseed almost flat. Soybean oil is up a little bit. Palm oil is up, making newer highs and looking for this $5,000 or 500 or $5,000 or ringgit value, Malaysian palm oil value. That's my upside target there. Canola, a couple of green days, and you could probably start drawing in a channel here, looking for some more upward movement here. What I'm showing here is the spread between Jan and November of 25. You can see this was an opportunity to lock in some of those prices with a $20 spread, and you can see what the spread is doing. We're getting back to uh, uh, you know uh, flatter values, of course, as well. So NOPA came out over the weekend, and I was just doing some math, and whether this math even makes sense, but we're looking at the canola crush, and if we do the math to get full crush, here we're looking at about 13.6 million metric tons per year, and if you expect 90% crush capacity, that should get you at 12.8. And the reason I'm doing this math, I'm showing it, is if we get to 12.8 here on our S&Ds. So if we're using StatsCan number, and you have maybe a bit of an increase in pace of exports, and you end up with a 1.3, which is probably too tight. So something's going to have to shake loose if this yield can hold. I believe the yield is probably lower, and this number is not rocket science. I did the average, taking out the highs and lows and taking 10% off of that average, because I have not heard any producers in Western Canada actually saying on average that there's there's about a 10% loss from their average. So using their numbers. So and everybody else is too scared to put out a number, but here I'm going to put out a number, and of course I'm going to have to adjust things to be able to get to something of the same value, because you're going to end up with a 17.6 kind of a production number. And if you still crush that number, you're going to have to do something with exports. And if you bring it down to 6.6, we're almost third there already. So we don't have to export much more, or we can slow down this pace by a lot. But that could also suggest that StatsCan is going to have to increase this number, or just everybody else is just being outright pulled around with misinformation. Um, November canola is still looking for this target. Here's your rapeseed. It's getting pulled up, and palm oil is doing a lot of the work for us. The crude oil is going down, and the Canadian dollar has done nothing but keep on trying to show us that there is looking for maybe a bounce off of there, but it didn't bounce off of that for very long, the actual closes of the days. So we'll see how that works out. Here's wheat. I had to zoom in a little bit to actually see what the heck's going on. It looked like a good day yesterday, but I'd like to see a lot more sense put into a good day. So I was stopped to see a client or a prospect yesterday, and I was just uh, reminded to maybe look at longer term trends here. And so where we are right now, and this is a long term trend, continuous chart, and you can do it with weekly or monthly, but basically looking at when was this high. So you go May 22, right now is October 24th. This is 2.5 years. And what I'm going to show you in the next slide is here's 3.5 years. So if we go this timeline to when it broke out on this trend line going down, when did it break out? So it broke out in October of 2020. So, and you could draw this chart differently as well. So here you got July of 12 in this area here, October of 16 before it broke out was 3.5 years. So I am not predicting this, but 3.5 years seems to be a number that we're not getting, or we're currently seeing 2.5 years. We need maybe another year of wheat going down before we can actually break out for the higher. Now, it is the right time of the year. If you notice, we've kept on talking about October. So, there could be a breakout